Hey everybody, welcome to this week's webinar. We hope you all had a great holiday season, that Santa was good to you, and that you didn't eat your body weight in the inventory of the holidays. I know I got to go on about a 2-week diet after mine.
Yeah, you ate a bunch, didn't you?
I did. I ate a bunch. Today would normally be Red Friday. This is red, but it's not Red Friday for our Chiefs. They didn't make the playoffs.
Blue Friday, though.
However, Brenndan's Cowboys made the playoffs. So
thank you, officials.
there you go. So we're going to talk today about how to make 2015 your best year ever. And these webinars are brought to you by Medicus Golf and KickX Golf. And we are here in Kansas City, Missouri at Tiffany Greens Golf Club, down in our indoor training studio, which is a blessing. It's about 65, 66 degrees down here. And outside it's about 20. So we're doing pretty good.
It's pretty balmy.
So let's talk about what you want to do for 2015. We want to help you make this the best year that you can have. So the first thing you need to do is sit down and define your goals for 2015. Whether it is to hit more greens, hole more 10-footers, hit more, whatever it is, you need to put that down and make it a definable,
yep, and
then hopefully an achievable goal. I mean, if you're somebody who shoots 80 all the time, your goal for 2015, if your goal is to shoot 65, that's probably not a realistic or definable goal. It'd be great if you did,
right?
Okay. And there are probably a lot of teachers out there who will tell you that they can have you doing that in 6 months. This isn't 2 of them, though. Okay, so it's real world. So again, you have to have your definable goals. So if you're setting up those goals, and let's say that you want to talk about, I want to lower my handicap. That's a pretty general goal.
Right.
So we need to break that down into how do we want to lower it down. So the best way to do that would be to look at stats.
Yes.
Right? So I want you to talk about stats.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, funny numbers out there. I call them funny numbers, but there's a lot of stats out there that are hard to understand what they are. But if you just simply do your basic stat tracking as far as fairways hit, greens in regulation, putts, that sort of thing, but also look at it from how close or, am I hitting these certain shots to the hole?
Yeah, proximity to the hole.
Proximity to the hole. That's a very key stat, especially on wedge game and chipping and putting right now, because so many people think they're good short game players, but they're hitting a chip shot to 8 feet, where tour average is probably 2 or 3 feet.
Right.
So,
right. And so that's the first thing is you got to be able to track these stats, and we're going to talk more about that later too. After you have your goals, then you need to develop a plan to put that goal in place. So if you want to drop your number of putts, you need to develop a plan that helps you practice with training aids.
Yes.
Because you always want to set your practice station up. Every time you hit shots, you want to set your practice station up, unless you're getting ready to head out to the golf course and you're warming up.
Right.
But other than that, if you go to any PGA Tour event, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the players have their training aids out there. Whatever it is they're working on. If you look on the putting green, there's all kinds of training aids out there. They are practicing, and they're using devices to help them sense or feel whatever it is, what they're trying to do.
Exactly.
And so they can see something, they can see a result of some kind.
Yeah.
So always set up a practice station, and depending on what it is you're working on, it's going to dictate what kind of practice station you set up.
Right.
Like we talked about how to practice earlier in the summer. In fact, it's up on the webinar site. How to set up effective practice stations. And we've got a few things here today we're going to talk about too. So once you have your goals, set up your plan, devote that amount of time. I mean, you can't go out for 5 minutes a day and practice whatever it is you're going to work on and expect that to get a lot better. But what you can do is hit shots and then have a mirror or sliding glass door, anything you can see your reflection in. And set in front of that thing. And don't look down here, there's no ball. Turn your head, the mirror's over here. Look in the mirror and see if you've got the club where you want it. So let's say you were doing this. And you're trying to fix that to this. Well, go here, put the club where you want it to go. So you can start developing a sense and a look of what that wants to look like.
And you bring up a great point. I know we always talk mirrors and certain things like that, but especially this time of year with us being in Kansas City, you can get so much effective things done just at home.
Right.
You don't have to be, the excuse of, well, I haven't been able to go outside and hit balls. Well, you can get more done in 5 or 10 minutes at home doing mirror drills,
right,
or whatever it is, just by having a club in your hands, keeping that feel.
Yeah, and it's like if you're doing mirror drills, this drill, if you're doing this drill and it's looking like this, okay, and it's what you want it to be, that motion should be the same with or without a golf ball.
Right.
So we would suggest if you're going to hit balls during the wintertime, that you make a minimum of 4 rehearsals.
Yes.
Trying to see exactly what it is you're trying to do. 4 rehearsals, and if you're swinging at this speed, then that's the speed you need to swing when you hit the golf ball.
Don't worry about distance or power when you're making these changes or getting these feels.
Right. So now you have your plan. So now from there, you need to put that plan and you need to take action on it.
Yep.
I've got my goals, I developed my plan. Now the action is actually doing the drills and working on the pieces you want to work on.
Yes.
So, we have a short game assessment, and it's on a point scoring system. If you have so many points, and it's for part of a short game, the other part's for putting. If you have so many points, it tells you whether you're on the plus side with a handicap or if you're not on the plus side.
Right.
So let's say you take this assessment and you come out as a +6 in your short game and putting combination, and you're shooting 78. Well, take 6. You're shooting 78 because you're a +6.
+6, yeah.
Right. If your short game wasn't any good, you'd be shooting 84.
Yeah.
All right. So now all you have to do. So that 6 is helping you. We need to get the rest of the strokes from the full swing.
Yeah. And so that could be where we look at driver, or we look at approach shots into the green with full irons. So being able, kind of going back to the stats part of thing, being able to kind of keep track of these things will tell you exactly where your struggling point is.
Right.
I mean, everybody thinks, I got to get better with the driver, because our students, we ask them, how good your short game? Oh, I'm a good short game player, and no, they're not.
No, and they rarely do they come out on the +6 side.
I'm thinking of all the kids we've had in our program, I don't think I've seen anybody on the plus
No,
side.
and even the adults.
Yeah.
Even the adults who think they have great short games. I mean, we proved it this past summer with our new wedge range.
Yeah.
We had all the best wedge players here at this club, and they're all pretty good, and they all shoot decent numbers. And at a 25-yard wedge shot to 4x4 target, that the first time we did that, I think there was a total of over 100 shots.
It's about 100 shots, yeah.
And one shot out of 100, all these guys hit that 4x4 target. One shot.
I mean, it's definitely an eye-opener when you start thinking about it along those lines.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're 25 yards away and you hit it to 10 feet, sorry, that's not good enough.
Right.
Because the percentages of you making a 10-foot putt versus a 4 or 5-foot putt are drastically different.
Right.
So,
And one of the measurements, and it's not an impossible goal, but we kind of look at it like you want to take 1% or 10%. So if you're 25 yards out, we want you to hit it 2.5 yards. Right? If you're 40 yards out, we want you to hit it to 4 yards.
Yeah.
All right. So if you use that 10% goal, while that may not be realistic, if you focus on trying to do that, more times than not, you'll shorten this area up that you're hitting your wedges.
And you hit the nail on the head. You said the word goal. So again, that could be a goal as far as your plan that you put in there. Now you've got a way to try to reach that goal and take action to achieve it.
Right. So now you've got your goal, you got your plan, you have your action. Now you're doing all this, and let's say that your plan for whatever particular thing you're working on is working out really good. And now you go out and something else is in the way. So now you have to readjust that goal and that plan. So let's say you were working on your short game and it's really coming right along, but now your ball striking is off a little bit.
No.
Readjust your plan and incorporate some of the ball striking stuff.
Exactly. Just because you got your goals, your plans, and you're taking action, you're not just going to that's it. You've got to make these tweaks along the way throughout the year, because I mean, just like you said, sometimes things are going to be clicking, but then over here they're not going to be. So you're going to have to make some small adjustments throughout the year.
Right, I mean, and this has happened to everybody. They go out and they hit their driver great that day, but they don't make a putt.
Yeah.
Or they make everything, but can't keep it in play.
Yes.
All right, you just have those days.
Yeah,
you know?
that's golf.
Yeah, that's golf. So golf is hard. So right now I have one of the original vision tracks. So let's say you're working on your swing path, okay? And so you want to set your vision track up. And let's say that your swing path is way inside that white line, and you're trying to keep it over the top of this white line. You're trying to keep it on top of that white line coming down. This would be a practice station.
Yep.
You would set this up to work on your swing path. Okay. Let's say that your swing path is pretty good, but you are hitting the ball either a little fat or a little thin. So there's a couple of ways to do that. You can just lay a board down like this. Now this actually has a cutout, as you can see. And you would put a ball in here, and you can actually cut this out. We actually have something at Medicus. It's called the shot shaper. It doesn't have this piece on it, but it's got pieces up here to the front. Put the ball there, swing down, hit the ball without hitting the back part of it.
Yep.
Okay? And you don't have to adjust it. You may start off with it way forward of that line, and then just keep moving it back until you start hitting it. But again, this will help you hit the ground first, or the ball first and the ground second. The other one that you can use, if you want to steepen, what we call steepen your angle of attack, is merely take a ramp like this, and you can see it's got a little slot to it, and just work it up the ramp and down the ramp without hitting the backboard.
Yep.
That's another thing that you can use,
Yep.
right? And then we also have the custom wedge with Medicus. It has it's a pure strike wedge. It has a back on it here. I'm going to bring this up so you can see a little closer. As you can see, it has beveled in on the back side of it. And that's designed to help you make sure you get the shaft leaning a little more forward at impact, not dramatically, but a little more. Because if you're flipping it, all you're going to do is hit this back end of it back here. And then finally, you have your driveway markers. Set these things up for paths, set them up for
You can do just about anything.
planes, set them up for start lines. I mean, these are really good to use for a number of things.
So let's say, kind of like, you're talking about path earlier. So you could take an alignment rod, stick it back just inside the target line and kind of at an angle of the shaft. And so now you can work on swing plane or swing.
Instead of swinging under it, that's your key.
Yeah.
You got to stay on top of that.
Yeah. Or if you're somebody that has a case of severely coming over the top,
Right.
you could swing outside it on the backswing, and you're trying to swing maybe under it on the
Yeah,
downswing.
and all you do is move the stick out this way a little
Yes.
more. Right? You wouldn't have it back here
Right.
so much. You'd have it more out here where equal with the shaft, so that when you take it down, it actually works under the shaft if you're somebody that's swinging too steeply and across the ball.
Right.
So always set up your practice station.
Yeah, and that's the thing with all these is all of these give you feedback, and
Right.
feedback is key. You've got doesn't matter what you're using, you need to find something that's going to give you visual or some sort of sensory feedback to where
Right.
you understand if you're doing it right or wrong. Right.
So this is how you can get your plan going for 2015 to have the best year you've had. First, think about your goals, develop your plan, take action on that plan, and then readjust as needed.
Yep.
And no matter what part of the game you're practicing, whether it's putting, chipping, pitching, bunkers, full swing driver, always set up a training station.
Yes.
Because you're going to get the feedback, and without the training station, it's hard to get the feedback.
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to look and see if we have any questions. And we don't. All right, so these must be fairly informative since nobody has any questions. Anyway, we will see you, what is the date today? Yeah, we'll see you next Friday.
Yes. Yeah.
The 19th through the 25th, the Friday that falls in that range, we will not be on air. We'll be down at the PGA show in Orlando. Okay? So hopefully I'll see some of you down there. Feel free to give us a call if you have any questions or shoot us an email. And until next time, we'll see you.
Go Cowboys.